Good evening. The City Council of LRA Board meetings are now in session for the City of Riverbank. It is Tuesday, November 12th, 2024 at 6 p.m. Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing.
Let's pray. Father God, we are once again just so grateful and thankful for this opportunity to gather in these chambers, Lord, and this council tonight. Lord, we recognize together that your presence is here. Father, we remember, Lord, that we're one nation under you. We believe that, God, you govern, you give us wisdom. Lord, we're so thankful for the presentations tonight, Lord, the Native American heritage, Lord. We take a moment and recognize their contribution to the lives that we live, and Lord, their place in our land. God, we thank God for them. Lord, we also want to recognize that the Ruby Walk, Lord, the Bridges Walk to School Day, God, as we just recognize that the city of Riverbank is a city that is committed to safety. And I just pray for the business tonight, Lord, that each one of us would have this platform to be able to share our concerns and Lord, what it is that's on our minds. But at the end of the day, Lord, we're going together, moving forward as a city, continuing to grow and work together in unity, knowing that by that we can become stronger. We thank you for this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hernandez.
Here.
Councilmember Barbara Martinez.
Here.
Vice Mayor Uribe.
Here.
Mayor O'Brien.
Here. There'll be no changes to the agendas. Any council or authority members or staff has direct conflict of interest on any scheduled agenda item to be considered as declared a conflict at this time.
I have a conflict of interest with item 9.3 and 9.5.
Okay. We're gonna proceed with presentations. The first one will be Native American Heritage Month. And we have two individuals that will be coming on up. Garrett and his mother Brenda Figueroa. If you will, please come on up. Welcome. She came all the way from Oklahoma City or Oklahoma. Good. You're going to stay right there for a second. First off, let us all realize that this land that we're on was once owned by the Yokuts. They did not give it up. It was taken from them. So we have to be willing to exercise the due diligence and caution when we do develop this area. All right. City of Riverbank Proclamation, Native American Heritage Month, November 2024. Whereas the City of Riverbank recognizes the invaluable contribution of Native people that have shaped our country and honored the hundreds of tribal nations. And whereas we value our Native people, their ancestral homes, their religions, and recognize their contribution historically, today, and in the future for our community. Whereas despite enduring a painful history, Indigenous people, their governments, and their communities have preserved and flourished as teachers, scholars, scientists, and doctors, writers, and artists, business leaders, and elected official, heroes in uniform, and so much more. They have made immeasurable contributions to our country's progress. Whereas it is important not just to celebrate the legacy that Indigenous history makers have left, but it is also to celebrate those who continue to shape our society, lead their communities, and impact our culture today. Whereas Garrett Figueroa and his family, his mother, Brenda, continue to keep their heritage alive by educating their tribes and staying involved within the Chippewa and Seminole community. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that the City Council of the City of Riverbank hereby proclaims the month of November of Native American Heritage Month and invite all to celebrate the accomplishments and contributions that have been made by the Native Americans. Signed today. And at this time, Garrett, first off, you speak, introduce your mother, and you're one of the educators, and I'm told on educating outside the people of the Chickasaw. That's what I meant to say. Since it is written right here. Anyway, Garrett,
Chokma, which means hello in Chickasaw. I would like to thank the city for recognizing Native American Heritage Month. As a Native American, I am proud to share my culture and history with many. As a citizen and employee of the city, it means a lot to me for you guys to recognize this month and the history of natives. I think it is important to provide this space for people to understand not just the achievements of natives, but also the tragedies that have befallen us. I would also like to present the city with this book that shares some of the history as a thank you. Chickasaw Saya, which means I am Chickasaw. Once again, thank you. And this is my mother, Brenda Reed Figueroa, as well.
come on up.
If you'd like to say something.
You get to say something.
Need to say something too?
And you can educate me, you can do whatever you.
Okay, okay. Well, I just, thank you guys for allowing me to be here as well. I just wanted to expand on what Mayor O'Brien said. So in my job for the Chickasaw Nation, I am a community outreach liaison, which means I travel to 37 different groups across the country, including Alaska, all four corners, and we take information about our programs and services so that we can educate our citizens at large on what we have available for them to utilize when it comes to our programs and services. So that's what I get to do, is travel all over the place. And it's allowed me to actually have the time to come out here and be here as Garrick accepted this. So like Garrick said, thank you all very much for recognizing Native American Heritage Month.
What a beautiful picture.
Now, the first one was about history. Now I'm going to read history. So first off, Crossroads Elementary. How many are here to represent? 10, come on up. Yes. Oh. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Come on up. You're going to stand right in front of me. I'm going to read to you and everyone else. City of Riverbank Proclamation. Crossroads Elementary, Ruby Bridges Walk to School Day. Whereas on November 14th, 1960, 6 years old, Ruby Bridges was one of 6 Black children to pass the test that determined whether or not they could go to an all-white William Frantz Elementary School in New Orleans, Louisiana. Whereas of the 6 children who passed the test, 2 of the children decided to stay at their old school, and Ruby Bridges went to William Frantz Elementary School by herself as the only African-American student to attend the school. Whereas every day U.S. Marshals had to escort young Ruby and her mother to school, where a crowd of people who didn't want her at school yelled things at her. Whereas as soon as Ruby Bridges entered the school, white parents pulled their own children out, and all the teachers except one refused to teach while a Black child was enrolled in the school. Whereas despite the threats and protests, the Bridges family was determined to keep sending Ruby to school. She didn't miss a single day of class that year. Whereas in 1999, Ruby Bridges established the Ruby Bridges Foundation to promote tolerance and create change throughout the education. And in 2020, Mrs. Bridges was made honorary deputy marshal in the ceremony in Washington, D.C. Whereas in 2001, Ruby Bridges was awarded the United States Presidential Citizen Medal for her bravery and service to our nation. And whereas Ruby Bridges has asserted that racism is a grown-up disease and we must stop using it in our children to spread it. Whereas every year on November 14th, students, staff, and teachers at participating schools honor Mrs. Bridges and encourage she carried to walk through the doors of William Frantz Elementary School in 1960 by gathering before school begins, and families are asked to line up and walk through the school gates while teachers, staff, and family members welcome the students with words of love and encouragement to start the day. And whereas in 2024, Crossroads Elementary School PTA moved to join hundreds of thousands of students who walked for Ruby to encourage our Crossroads family to be involved and inspire our Crossroads students to find their passion and strength one step at a time. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that the City Council of the City of Riverbank hereby proclaims November 14th as Ruby Bridges Walk to School Day in the City of Riverbank. So, what is your name? Hanley? Yours? Eva? Marissa? Leanne? Matthew? Ella? Oh, very good. And you are the principal? No. You are the principal? Oh, I'm sorry. How dare I? Okay, well, I want to thank you all for being here. And so who would like to speak on, come on up.
So I just want to say that it's really important to me that everyone gets an education, and that's why Ruby Bridges is really important to me, because she went to the school even though everyone was protesting against her. She went there, didn't miss a single day, and that really takes bravery and courage, and that's why I really admire her. Yeah.
What do you like to say? Anna?
So thank you very much, City of Riverbank, for proclaiming this day in honor of our school. I'm not only the proud principal, but a mom myself of a little cougar, little Anna, who is 6 years old, the same age that Ruby Bridges was, when she took that bravery to walk herself to school with protests and horrible things said to her. And just the thought of that bravery, it makes me so proud of how far we've come as a culture. And I can say that we are a very proud and diverse school at Crossroads, and it's an honor to represent Ruby Bridges on the 14th. So thank you.
Okay, so we're going to do a photo op. How are we going to do this? The kids in front and all the people taller than you in the back?
Good job.
Those who are leaving, please. All right, we'll continue. At this time, public comment will be taken. Public comment may be on any item not appearing on the agenda within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council LRA Board. Individual comments will be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes, and time cannot be yielded to another person. Under state law, matters presented during the public comment period cannot be discussed or acted upon.
Olivia? Oh, go. Do you want to go?
Hi, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and all our council members and people here in the audience. I'm Olivia Rambula. I am broker owner Thomas Real Estate, and I am your Riverbank Chamber of Commerce Director of Community Events now. And I'd like to share some events that we have coming up. So first off, we do have tomorrow, the 13th, here in Riverbank downtown, Pizza Plus, from 12 to noon, 12 to 1. We do have a lunch and learn. It is going to be taught by or provided by the STEPS Stanislaus Opportunity Program. They're going to teach us how to write a business plan for 2025. So we encourage everybody to come on out and to be a part of this. Learn how to write the business plan. If you're thinking about going to business, learn kind of what it takes. It's gonna be at Pizza Plus here, right here on Santa Fe, corner 3rd kind of. And Mike from Pizza Plus is gonna sponsor the pizza and the drinks. So come on out for that. Also coming up on November 19th, we have a multi-chamber regional mixer. It's going to be held in Modesto from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Please see me for more details. And then also we have coming up soon, we have a few more lunch and learns. So plan for December. December, our lunch and learn is going to be on Wednesday, I believe it's December the 4th. Sorry, I might be lying to you. It's December, first week of December on Wednesday. We're gonna have that. It's gonna actually be at the office Max that's located on Oakdale Road at the corner of Briggsmore. They're gonna do a lunch and learn, helping you to use their services to grow your business, especially during Christmas time. So we wanted to get in there early, so it's that first week. And then we do have also a few other tentative things coming up for December. We have a all multi-mixer coming up also in December as well. And sorry, it is going to be on December 12th, I believe. I'll confirm that. I didn't open up the right calendar. I brought the 2025 calendar up here with me. So I'll tell you afterwards. And then a possible other event coming up. We're just trying to establish a date for that, which will be held at my office, Timeless Real Estate here in Riverbank, right here on the Highway 108 Atchison 3413. It is going to be a chamber mixer, and what we're going to do is we're going to have a white elephant gift exchange for all of you guys to come on out and participate. No gifts over $10. We're trying to keep it nice, social, have some marketing, and meet with everybody there. So we'll get some dates. They are basically going to be the first part of December. We're trying to do things before everybody heads out for the holidays. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Lori?
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and City Council. I'm Lori Fail, Hooked on Bling for Nails, and I just wanted to invite you all. You have Black Friday, but then there's Saturday, and then Saturday is small business. So what I've done in my home is I invited members of the community that are also doing network marketing to bring their products to my home and invite the community to come and support the businesses if you can come. And also I am going to be a drop site for Toys for Tot that day. So if you would like to bring a toy for children's at 0 to 12, 0 to 12 age, so boy and girl. So if you want to come on out, I have refreshments and just inviting the community to come and meet other members as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Daryl?
I haven't been here in a long time. Hi, my name is Daryl Daniel, 3336 Riverside is my new address. Just moved into town, actually. No, I've been here 31 years, actually, with my Snow White. So I'll talk quickly. One is moving into town. I'm parking my car right in front of my place by the river. And of course, the little fast cars are spinning circles around children and right behind my house and blowing smoke and everything, skidding all over the place, comes around the building and then hits my car, sideswipes it and runs away, of course. I'm in the restroom at that time, but my neighbor had cameras that showed it all. And it's too bad I didn't get the information real quick because they can't do anything about it. So I'm trying to get like a $500 reward or something like that, because it's going to cost me more than $1,000 for my insurance of a $6,000 job that has to be fixed. But it's not the subject of that alone that my car can get fixed. The question is that I talk to people and they say, oh, that's no big thing, no big deal. It's people do that, all the little junky little kids that do that probably have no license, probably have no insurance, driving in the streets, skidding their cars around, almost hitting kids. I hope it doesn't get to the level that someone will catch them before they kill somebody. So that's the subject on that. So I know nothing can probably be done, but anyway, the river walk, I should say. I thought it was a river walk. I thought it was awesome. I was like, man, that's a little walk down the park. But it's a development actually, which I probably will vote for that in about 20 years, but I'm not in favor of it at all right now. I am in favor though, is I wanted to say before I run out of time, I'm partially native, very small Indian also. So I thought this was awesome. And I was just barely being thought of when I was in the 60s. So it's amazing how in Lodi, where you hear all these different problems of kids and different things growing up and stuff like that. So anyway, my biggest thing is I would like to do it is best way, because they're bypassing all of us, the highway, is to where approximately where people know where UGAS is. And right now it's been a eyesight for nothing right now. And unless someone already has something being built there, I would like it to be something like a Chamber of Commerce building. It could be very easily a native Indian describing about this, where this thing, it could easily describe a little tiny building describing Bernieville, where this town kind of like started from. A lot of people don't know of that. Some people do. But it could also be a map of Riverbank. It also could be a little trail, bicycle races. Oh, that's probably me. Real quick is that having a thing going toward Riverside from there all the way eventually to maybe the new river walk in so many decades from now.
Thank you.
All right.
And Olivia?
Hi again, Mayor, Vice Mayor, all of our city council members. Olivia Rambula, broker and owner, Timeless Real Estate, and this is something different that I am inviting you to today. It's on behalf of Timeless Real Estate, myself, my clients. I'm having an open house this Saturday. It's going to be from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. But on this open house, we're going to have a little event with vendors, any garage stuff or, yard sale that we have going on. So it's inviting you guys to that. So 11 to 3 this Saturday here in Riverbank. It's on Highway 108, 4118 Highway 108 in Riverbank. So please stop by, check out. We have some small businesses out there that will be a part of it, trying to support our small businesses and our community and my clients all here in Riverbank at the same time. It's just getting everybody out there. And if you want to buy the house, it's for sale.
Thank you.
Randy?
Hello, my name's Randy Richardson. I pastor a church at 3126 Stanislaus Street. And I just wanted to take a moment and get a shout out to all our veterans. I don't know why, but I know we celebrate that every year, but it just seems to hit closer to in my heart, and just all the ones that have fought for our freedom. And I know that we see you, we know and recognize, and we honor you. I saw a post that said 99% of us wake up and experience the freedom that we have, and there's 1% that get up and defend it. And I just think that I just wanted to take a moment across the airwaves and then this council just to say thank you to all our veterans.
That is all, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. We're going to continue on with the consent calendar. We're going to take items 9.1, 9.2, and 9.4, and we'll take 3 and 5 separately. Item 9.1, waive reading. Item 9.2, approval of City Council and Local Redevelopment Authority Board minutes for October 22nd, 2024. Item 9.4, resolution to waive the community center rental fee for the Riverbank Federated Women's Club for a fundraising event. Do I have anyone wishing to pull any of those items? Do I have consideration?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar 9.1, 9.2, and 9.4.
I'll second.
A second.
We have a motion to approve and a second on 1, 2, and 4. Roll call, please.
I just want to clarify that I got the second from Councilmember Hernandez.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay. Councilmember Hernandez,
Yes.
Councilmember Barbara Martinez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Uribe,
Yes.
Mayor O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Darlene, Councilmember Barbara Martinez, sorry. You can actually stay because it's a consent item and there will be no discussion on that.
We hope. Good. Item 9.3, resolution to waive the community center rental fee for the Central Valley Resources Center, Inc. for Toys for Tot event. Item 9.5, resolution authorizing the application to and participation in the Behavioral Health Continuum Infrastructure Program, BHCIP. Do I have anyone wishing to pull any of those items? Any consideration?
Make a correction in our name. It's Central Valley Community Resources. That's it. Thank you.
You're right, it is.
So I'll make a motion to accept item 9.3 with the correction of the name and 9.5.
And I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hernandez,
Yes.
Councilmember oops. Vice Mayor Uribe,
Yes.
Mayor O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
Item 11, new business. A resolution to authorize staff to submit the draft 6th cycle housing element to the Department of Housing and Community Development for the mandated 90-day compliance evaluation with state laws.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. David Niskanen with JB Anderson Land Use Planning will provide the report on this item.
Thank you. Members of the City Council, David Niskanen, JB Anderson Land Use Planning. I'm here to present the draft 6th cycle housing element update The PowerPoint that's prepared tonight includes a Spanish translation in blue text for those who desire that service. And I'm here with Miguel Galvez, a senior planner, and Michael Arroyo, associate planner with JB Anderson Land Use Planning. They were critical in preparing the draft that's being presented to you tonight. Just to provide a little bit of a background on the housing element update process. Housing element is one of the required elements of the general plan per state law and covers an 8-year period from June 30th, 2023 to December 31st, 2031. The draft housing element that's before you tonight has been available for public review from October 15th, 2024, where we presented it to Planning Commission, to November 14th on Thursday. So we're accepting public comment until Thursday before we send it to state law or to the Department of Housing and Community Development. So far, we've received 7 comment letters from the public, and pursuant to state law, the city is required to consider and incorporate those public comments for at least 10 business days and after the public review period. At that point, we'll be submitting the document to HCD for a compliance review. And I have a timeline schedule later on in the presentation where you can see exactly where we're at with the document preparation. Just to provide an overview of the update process, and you may have seen this in previous presentations as well as the July 31st public workshop. The document and preparation of the housing element documents kind of separated in a number of steps, where we first take in public comments through 2 public workshops, a stakeholder meeting, presentations to Planning Commission and City Council. And public participation is one of those things where it's throughout the entire preparation of the document. Even after we submit the document to HCD, future revisions, for example, are going to be done in redline text format, so everyone can see exactly where the document changed, as well as subsequent drafts to HCD are required to be posted on the city's website for 7 days, and those interested parties and individuals will be notified of when that happens. Step 2 includes the update to the actual document, including the housing needs assessment, the sites inventory, which the public and council and planning commission have been part of, the affirmatively furthering fair housing chapter constraints, including governmental and non-governmental constraints, and then finally culminating into a development of a series of policies and programs that the city will implement over the next 8-year period. Step 3 includes the availability of the public review draft document to the public. As noted in the staff report and what I just said in the previous slide, the document's been available from October 15th to November 14th, 2024. Step 4 includes the 90-day compliance review with HCD. That'll be a review from the selected analyst from HCD on how the city's document is in compliance with state law. Following their review, in most circumstances, they'll provide a comment letter to the city with required revisions to the document. And as I stated, those revisions per state law and per what the HCD says will be done in track changes and posted on the city's website before sending it back to them if needed. It all depends on the comments that are received. And then step 5 is following review from HCD and satisfaction of statutory requirements. We'll be coming back to Planning Commission and City Council through a series of public hearings for the formal adoption of the document. And then step 6 is another 60-day certification review from HCD for meeting statutory requirements for state law. And once adopted and certified, the city will have the ongoing task of implementing the programs in the housing element. Some are going to be ongoing, for example, of like reaching out to low-income housing developers and interested developers for the city. Others will be more specific, for example, doing code text amendments that are required per state law. Now, the document itself is broken down into a series of chapters. The first chapter, Introduction, discusses the housing element requirements per state law and also provides an overview of the public participation that's been conducted thus far. The Household and Characteristics and Employment Characteristics chapter provides the current household characteristics, population, and employment for the city, as well as projections. And then housing stock characteristics provides the conditions of housing in the city, including the stock, growth, quality, and vacancy rates. And then housing supply and needs provides an analysis of the demographics of the city, including socioeconomic conditions, local housing supply, overpayment, overcrowding, and also special housing needs, including homeless analysis, as well as housing for development disabilities. The affirmatively furthering fair housing is analysis of fair housing in the city. And the housing production constraints includes a review of the inventory of available sites and the analysis for constraints, including governmental and non-governmental constraints. And then the next chapter, housing development eligible to change to non-low income, is an identification of low-income housing development sites that may convert to non-low income in the city, meaning that they would be converted to market rate. Finally, the evaluation of the previous housing element includes an analysis of the previous housing element programs, whether or not they've been implemented or completed, whether or not they need to be modified or removed, or kind of a status update on each program. And then finally, the 2023 to 2031 housing goals and policies provides a series of goals, policies, and programs that the city will be implement during the 6-cycle planning period. Now, this all started with the regional housing needs allocation, which is the amount of housing that each city must plan for in the housing element. Each city is assigned a number of units based on state projections for the county, and then the Stanislaus Council of Governments take those projections and split it out between all the cities in the county, including the county itself. The required number of housing units for the 6-cycle planning period from 2023 to 2031 for the city of Riverbank is 3,591 units to plan over the next 8 years. It is important to note, however, that the city is not required to construct these units. We're just required to plan for these units and make sites available for the potential development of sites among the different income categories, including very low, above moderate, and above moderate. Now, this table provides a detailed view of how the city's going to address the 6-cycle regional housing needs allocation. The arena is identified in blue text, allocation to be met. And the analysis included potential units in vacant land, underutilized land, development of accessory dwelling units over the next 8 years using historical data and how many accessory dwelling units were developed in the past. Pipeline projects, which are projects that are either under construction or will be constructed soon. The downtown specific plan, the number of units in that specific plan, as well as the Crossroads West specific plan. So this includes all units that are within the city limits, in other words. Potential units located outside city limits are included as a reference only and are not counted towards the city's holding capacity as it relates to RENA. And they eventually can be incorporated, like for example, in the next housing element cycle or in kind of a mid-year update to the housing element. But as of right now, they're not included. Those projects would be analyzed at that time, and then we would require a general plan amendment to the housing element to incorporate. And as shown in this chart, the city has a shortfall down at the bottom, 436 units in lower income and 354 units for moderate income. So it really takes all the land that's available in the city, and then we break it down by income category. And then we found that there's a shortfall to meet the city's regional housing needs allocation. And to correct that over the next 8 years, and with input from the community, specifically at the July 31st community workshop, staff identified a number of sites that have the potential to meet the RENA. Actually, a total of 1,656 potential units were identified that could accommodate the very low or the lower income categories, as well as the moderate shortfall. And this is a map of illustrating the location of those sites. Now, not all sites may be rezoned to accommodate the RENA, but we wanted to include kind of a conservative approach because you want to have a surplus in the amount of units you're providing for each category in case a project comes in that doesn't meet the density requirement, specifically for lower income. There's a buffer there that there's enough sites in the housing element to accommodate each category, including lower, moderate, and above moderate. Now, staff reviewed the housing goals, policies, and programs from the fifth cycle housing element, as well as looked at new state law that's required for the city to implement, specifically code text amendments, and then developed a series of goals and policies from that. So there are some programs that may look familiar from the fifth cycle housing element, and then there are some that are new. Now, one of the comments that we received from the public, and this is quite helpful, is include an identifying marker on which programs are new. And that's something that we'll include as part of our HCD review draft, so that everyone can see which programs are new to this cycle compared to ones that have been either modified or continued as part of the fifth cycle. Now, this goal and policy is mainly related to having the adequate sites to provide for sufficient land for the sixth cycle. And the programs related to this are keeping an up-to-date inventory of vacant and underutilized land for the housing element. So making sure that map is updated. If a site's been developed, then we can have that, or the city can have that map updated so that it's available for the public as well as developers. The next is to encourage housing development for sites zoned for mixed use and allow sites to be developed with standalone residential units as long as they have a density of at least 20 dwelling units per acre. And that's really the key, is to make sure that there's enough density so it qualifies for what the state considers a lower income site for a policy document. Now, the next couple are amendments to the code that we include in the housing element. One is to allow multifamily development in the mixed use zoning to be developed, if it's developed at least 20 dwellings per acre, to be by right. What that means is that there would be no discretionary review. The city could still require design requirements and consistency with zoning code like setbacks and FAR and things of that nature, but it would be a by right use. The next is a potential program that we would like to have city council provide a little bit of direction on, and that we heard at the public workshop on July 31st that a program could be included to investigate options for inclusionary housing. As you know, inclusionary housing is a policy that a city can implement that requires a number of sites to be developed at a lower income for every single project, residential project that comes into the city, whether that be a flat percentage or a combination. There's a lot of options available to the city to implement, but we wanted to make sure that council was provided the opportunity to potentially include a program to investigate those options and select which one would best fit the community. The next one is another potential program to partner with local jurisdictions in the housing industry to conduct a housing summit to provide housing information to interested parties. This is something that we can include in the housing element as the city would reach out to the other cities and mainly the county to try to implement a housing summit yearly, or every 2 years, or what have you. It kind of depends on which, what kind of direction that the city provides, as well as the coordination with the other cities in the county. So where we're at right now is we're in the 30-day public review period of the draft document. Like I said previously in my presentation, the end date for public comments is November 14th at the end of the day. And then from there, we will, projecting that we'll send the document to HCD on December 2nd while we incorporate public comments and consider and incorporate public comments. And then that 90-day review period would end March 2nd, 2025. From there, we'll most likely need to revise the housing element document to address HCD comments. And then we're planning on presenting the document for adoption to Planning Commission and Council in the spring of 2025. Now, that timing could be modified because of HCD comments. It kind of depends. Most cities are going through a subsequent review, a second review period, which is a shorter time frame from HCD from 90 days to 60 days. But that provides assurance that when the document is formally adopted, that there's no additional revisions during the certification process. So it leaves, provides a less doubt on whether or not the state will accept the document for certification. As I stated, public comments are still, we're still accepting public comments until Thursday, end of day. And comments can be provided either in writing or via email at riverbankhousing@riverbank.org. And then our recommendation tonight is for City Council to adopt a resolution to authorize staff to submit the draft housing element to the Department of Housing and Community Development for a mandated 90-day compliance review with state laws. And I'm available to answer any questions, as well as Miguel, and Josh, of course, is in the audience too. Thank you very much.
Before I open it up, was there any questions?
I had questions.
Before then?
The map that you had, were there any new sites? Because when we had our public workshop and we were able to suggest where we thought more housing should be in one spot more than the other. So I was just wondering, were there new or additional sites added to that? And was there, specific sites that the public thought should be more available for housing than the other sites?
Yeah, they were ranked, and that's included in the housing element document, where people were placing dots on each site. So the map and the listing of the sites were developed from that. As it relates to new sites in there, I believe the list and the map were updated per that workshop. Yeah.
David, thank you so much. Could you pull up this slide about policies and programs? I think it was goal number 4 while you're doing that. So in the housing element, I've had a couple weeks to kind of review it, been going back and forth with staff, Cody and Joshua. Thank you for kind of giving me the information I was kind of seeking there. And so just kind of the sewer capacity error that was kind of forwarded to you, and
Yep.
and 2 other things that I kind of addressed. No other issues that I saw in the housing element. Let's see, go forward one slide. Let's see. It said goal 5. It was goal 5, and there was a slide before that. So maybe it wasn't there. Where it talked about inclusionary.
I see. It's just,
So right there, and then I think it was
no, it's this
one
right
back. Okay, so just goal 2. Gotcha. Yeah, so I think, so we're definitely seeing a developer's preference is the above market, right? And so
Yeah.
I think it's a good opportunity for the council to be creative, and one of the solutions is, like you mentioned here, and we've heard in other heard in other meetings planning, is this inclusionary housing program. Staff mentioned that Ripon has one at 10% affordability. It's kind of similar to like a park and lieu fee, right? And so you kind of, those that are not participating, we're kind of collecting those fees, and then we're able to use those funds to kind of fund the income categories that we're struggling, right, with the very low and the lows. So I think that's somewhere the council should definitely move forward towards. In strategic plan, I would like to see this inclusionary housing program come forward. Other ideas that's not tied in with this would be like a system development fee by zone, right? Because we see the infills and they're the same cost as the new development. So how do we drop the fees for the infill, seen as they're not as costly, right, to develop when you're out in a new area with the new utilities? It's going to cost more that way. And so how do we break this up so it makes sense for the developers, right, and to persuade them to go for those income categories that we're kind of struggling with. So yeah, so for strategic plan 2025, I would like to see those 2 move forward, and the housing element I'll be supporting tonight.
Yep, thank you.
If we can be even more aggressive than before the strategic plan, I would love to add on to that for inclusionary housing,
Okay.
see something that would work for our city and bringing other policies.
One of the things we have to be cautious about is that $466,000 is our median price. And if we have to find ways, I think HCD has programs that they're controlling monies that if we had that money, we could do a lot of the things that we currently want to do with affordable housing and not taken away from the housing quality between an affordable home and those that are the neighbors, as well as providing assistance as they move forward or up the I want to say the income chain. This, I know that we're working with HCD on our program, on our element, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. What are their feedback?
Well,
Unofficially, and don't put them on the spot because I want to do that.
well, we've been in contact with HCD, but primarily regarding timing of the
Okay.
submittal of the draft document. Once the document's submitted, then that's where we can really work with HCD and typically during that 90-day review period, we'll have 1 or 2 meetings with HCD to answer questions from them and to better inform us of the potential comments that we'll receive. And then after the 90-day review period, they'll come up with a comment letter on how the city can meet in very specific areas of the housing element to meet statutory requirements. And then we can certainly reach out during that time to HCD to coordinate with them on specific issues and comments that they have. But at this time, the only discussion with HCD that we've had so far is primarily related to timing.
And in your housing, as you spread it out across the city, projects lower than 20 units are usually not wanted by developers. They want a larger development so they can spread out their cost and they can make a profit even if it is on affordable housing. So the realism of a 1.5, 2 acre plot not being able to be developed because it would not be suitable for a developer unless it was privately owned. Like if I had a 2 acre, want to split the lots for my kids, I could do that. So it's realism and putting it on this is our plan. We have to open our eyes as we move forward.
And I'll just add to that by saying that state law has really been updated over the last number of years to address how they qualify a site that's being able to be developed. And that's included in the housing element in a number of areas. One, the size of the site needs to be adequate to develop. The site needs to have adequate availability connection to water and sewer is another one. So there's a lot of different ways that HCD has interpreted updated state law to require a much deeper analysis into the sites inventory, not only for vacant sites, but underutilized sites as well. So there may be, once we receive the comments from HCD, there may be updates to the sites inventory that may require us to remove sites or maybe potentially to add sites. So it all depends on really their comments from there. But point is very well taken.
Thank you. Hey, at this point, I'm going to open it up for any public comment.
Ms. Conrada?
Wanted to mention, my name is Karen Conrado. I live on Hope Road. In preparation of the housing element update, Riverbank reached out to residents, but not the surrounding community that would be affected, like the residents of River Heights and Park Ridge area, which is adjacent to the city limits, and the landowners surrounding the proposed Riverwalk project area. The population and growth rate appear inaccurate to me. The site inventory leaves off 13 to 15 sites that were rezoned, and in your document, you said will be rezoned, but it wasn't in the appendix, and I think that it should be included in the inventory, even if you have to put a little note that it's not available yet. The city notes they lack sufficient land, yet with the properties that will be rezoned, that would not be accurate any longer. And it looks like to me there are only limited number of stakeholders included that were like the developers and the service providers. My general impressions were the numbers were slightly inaccurate, which leads to a different conclusion when discussing needed housing units. I just wanted to make those few comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Since I'm here, my name is Daryl, 3336 Riverside. Since I've been here, this is the first time I actually had an opportunity to buy a house in Riverbank. But when I first came into Riverbank, I wasn't able to actually really move into Riverbank because I lived in Stockton for quite a while, and then in Lodi. And then when I came to the town, the first thing I bought my drive-in, and I said, okay, now I need to find a place to live. Okay, so I'm not so far from Stockton. Well, I had to go to Oakdale to find an apartment because every apartment that I went to in Riverbank or some other little place, they said, oh, I'm sorry, we're Section 8. Oh, we're not Section 8, we're Section something else. And it was always, the first thing I even said the word is I just bought the Snow White Drive-In. And they say, oh, you don't qualify. Like, okay, I found out, let's see, are they prejudiced from Settler Brothers? Because I'm the one that bought the business, not the landlord, okay? So I was trying to figure out what it was, but it was strictly, there was not any place to, if you have just a normal job. When I lived in Manteca or something like that, I was managing a Domino's Pizza, low wage, just whatever it was. And I was just calculating it up, and it's like $43,000, I guess, is barely, let's say if you have a regular job. And to me, I guess it sounds pretty good, actually. I don't know what, flipping the burgers is a challenging job. So it really, really is. So when you say about, different housing and stuff like that and apartments, the question is everyone's saying not in my neighborhood. Well, you got to figure out where it's going to be. Like it shouldn't be right by a country club on McHenry, At the same time, you need to find places that is it the big house, the medium houses? I guess that's the whole thing, is that apartments. No one really likes apartments, but you need kind of apartments. 2 stories, something like that. And I'm not trying to make it into a ghetto Riverbank, of course. No way am I even thinking about that. So, but there are nice apartments, in other cities and other places. And you've got some nice ones here. But I looked into those, and they're all, you have to qualify, not just your income, but a lot of other stuff. So anyway, that's my thought.
Thank you.
Number ending in 3108. Can you please unmute? Number ending in 3108. Can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Oh my gosh, it worked. Okay. Hi, my name is Evelyn. I live downtown, and I am in the Pacific Plan area. And I got a lot of questions that I'm also going to submit in writing. This housing element, the original one that you're replacing, is based on information from a March 25th, 2013 hypothetical EIR. Hypothetical because the specific plan didn't come out for another over 2 years. That EIR was done for a project downtown called the Cannery Reuse Plan. That plan was going to be commercial, residential, and entertainment. That's what that was for. That's what they did that EIR for, not for the rest of the Pacific Plan. And you can look that up. Now, when the plan came out in 2015, in May of 2015, it was shortened. Instead of going all the way to 7th Street, it only went to 4th Street, which is where it is now. After the cannery got all this stuff done, they decided not to do the plan and are turning it into 33 acres of manufacturing and commercial cultivation of cannabis in there. So now you no longer have the cannery thing for housing. Now you no longer have the area from 4th to 7th for housing, yet you still have the same number of housing planned to build in here that you planned when you had the whole thing. That doesn't make any sense. You shrunk it down. It's only a small area left, but you still want to put all that housing in one little area. The general plan, there's a policy that says a foundational policy, a general plan is that future growth shall not exceed the city's capability to provide infrastructure and services. Okay? If you know anything about downtown right here, right now, you know that the infrastructure is not good and we do not have services. You want anything, I don't care if it's pharmacy, bank, whatever, you've got to get in the car and you've got to drive. But you're going to put all this in here and still no service, because where are you going to find room to do both? This thing has not been realigned with the compatible with the downtown Pacific plan. Pacific plan, general plan, they're all supposed to be compatible with each other. They have not happened. The general plan's been changed, Pacific plan never has. So first thing I'd like to know is how you can okay building that many houses in a smaller area than what it was intended for in the first place. There are certain programs that you have that are specifically mentioned for the Pacific plan, downtown Pacific plan, only on this housing thing, like for a supportive housing, a single rooms. There's one for there's another one that's specifically for downtown Pacific plan, which is pinpointing us, and it specifically says that for developers that remove a house, then they can build 2 more. So how many of our existing houses are going to get removed so you can build all these houses that should have been built when they had the whole plan and not just this little area? And what are you going to do with all the people that get displaced down here so you can meet your housing?
Okay, thank you. Evelyn,
I wasn't
you are
done.
going to submit written remarks, correct?
I have a ton of them, but I'm not done yet. This is serious.
We are serious.
No, if you cannot update this plan, the old element, if you're using the old figures and stuff from 10 years ago, that don't exist anymore. You're going to cram it all into about 3-block area.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mr. Beekman, can you unmute?
Hello?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Matt Beekman with the Farmland Working Group. I appreciate the fact that I think it was JB Anderson is there. I was hoping we could get some answer to some specific questions. We submitted some comments in writing. I hope people got the opportunity to look at those. It is surprising that the city of Riverbank would submit a housing element that's out of compliance with state law. You're stating that you do have a shortfall. It is your legal obligation to meet those numbers. And in our review of your housing element, you do have the opportunity to do that. Specifically, in your downtown specific plan, you state that you can accommodate 832 units, but then you don't account for those in your list of housing units. Also, the candidate sites for rezoning, you've only included 3 of the 15 properties. If you were to include more of those properties, not even all of them, you would quickly get to compliance. I think it is encouraging to hear from the council that looking at ways to adjust development impact fees and things like that to accommodate more infill. We are in an affordable housing crisis. There's no doubt about it. And the way we can do that in a fiscally responsible manner is to focus on infill. And frankly, not using the tools available to you I think is going to be to your detriment. It's going to make compliance hard. It's going to make doing an accurate general plan even harder. So I would hope that JB Anderson would be able to answer our questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mayor, that is all on Zoom,
Okay,
and then we
thank
did
you.
receive one written comment.
Please read. Not the entire thing.
No.
That will be submitted into the
For the
record.
record, yes. We did receive a written comment from Solori Meserve, a law corporation. Dear Mayor O'Brien and members of City Council, this firm represents Riverbank residents Annabelle Gammon and Dr. J. Allen Gammon. The city's October 2024 Draft 6 Cycle Housing Element fails to disclose the significant environmental, public services, and infrastructure, Williamson Act, and other constraints associated with development of Riverwalk specific plan. It should not be assumed that significant siting and other constraints can be overcome for this 1,522 acre site, about 2/3 of which is outside city limits. Attached are detailed comments and an expert report on ecology and wildlife submitted in May 2024 that explains some of the inadequacies of the January 2024 Riverwalk specific plan draft EIR. These and other comments received on the draft EIR indicate that the Riverwalk specific plan should not be considered suitable for residential development by the city. We request that the Riverwalk specific plan should be removed from the city's housing element prior to submission to the Department of Housing and Community Development. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, bring it back. Was there any comments that you have on what Mr. Beekman stated or Ms. Albert?
Yeah, thank you. David Niskanen again, JB Anderson Land Use Planning. As it relates to comments by Mr. Beekman, the documents in draft form. Compliance will be achieved through the review process with HCD and addressing their comments to meet statutory requirements. I understand he submitted a comment letter, so we'll go over that in detail and update the document in red line accordingly. As it relates to the number of units in the downtown specific plan, the specific plan, as Evelyn stated, was adopted a number of years ago in 2015. And since then, in our review of the number of units that are available in the downtown specific plan has shrunk a little bit from what the document actually states when it was adopted. And that is to account for some of the development that's occurred, specifically within the cannery area with Authorize and other areas that have been developed that were previously available for housing within the downtown specific plan. We'll take a look at his comments in detail and review and update the document prior to sending it to HCD for their 90-day compliance review. As it relates to Evelyn's comments, the downtown specific plan EIR was certified ahead of the downtown specific plan adoption of that document. John Anderson and myself were working with the city of Riverbank on that document and that approval at that time. And there are sites in the downtown specific plan that are currently developed that are potentially underutilized or could potentially be redeveloped for additional housing. The downtown specific plan provides a lot of variety and flexibility in the way housing is developed and really encapsulates more of a mixed use, either vertical or horizontal mixed use environment. And you can see that down here in the core downtown area where we are sitting right now. So I'm eager to receive Evelyn's comments and, you know, work with her to incorporate her comments into the housing element document.
How about the Riverwalk being included in the document? It's referenced, it's not included.
Yeah, that's correct. And maybe we can compare it to the fifth cycle housing element. In the fifth cycle, we included a inventory of land outside of city limits and within the sphere of influence, within like the general plan area. And the way that's done is really taking a look at the number of acres that are in each parcel and accounting for the development using density assumptions. Now that the city has an ongoing ongoing processing of an application of the downtown specific plan, or not downtown, but the Riverwalk specific plan, we felt it was necessary to include that specific information because they define the number of units within that area where previously it was just done by assumptions through looking at the site size and basing it off of default and assumed densities. So it's really for reference. It's not affecting the arena. The candidate sites that are included in the housing element will bring the city into compliance with meeting the city's regional housing needs allocation. And yeah, that's my answer to that question.
Although 70% of the Riverwalk is within the general plan. The inclusion does not necessarily mean that they will be agreed to or authorized.
Correct.
So that is something that we cannot discuss what our druthers are until it actually comes to this council.
That's correct.
Thank you. Any other comments before we go for a recommendation? Consideration?
So I'll make a motion to approve item 11.1.
A second?
We have a motion to approve item 11.1 and a second, and include all comments in with the, for review. Who is?
There was a raised hand, but it keeps coming in and out. It's off now.
Okay. And a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hernandez,
Yes.
Councilmember Barbara Martinez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Uribe,
Yes.
Mayor O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the work. Tell your boss I appreciate his effort. Okay. At that time, staff comments.
Just a couple of comments from me tonight. Join us for a special city council meeting on Monday, November 18th, when city council will be interviewing candidates for the District 3 vacancy. The city has received a total of 7 applications for consideration. The deadline to apply for the Downtown Facade Improvement Program is Monday, November 25th at 5:00 p.m. Information and application are available on our website. All city offices will be closed November 28th and 29th for the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday. And the last one is register for Notify Me on our website to receive updates on upcoming city council meetings, special events, and road closures.
Thank you. Councilmember Hernandez.
I do not have any comments other than thank you to Parks and Recreation for the continued events that have been improving every time.
Councilmember Barbara Martinez.
I think we all can agree that the housing element is something that is difficult, something that we need to pay close attention to and do our best to try to understand it. And our staff is always available if anybody has any questions, whether you're a council member, resident, but they're always available. So I appreciate, trying to help us get through that process. But I also want to personally thank all of our veterans, their families, and those who are currently serving in the military for our freedom. And registrations are now being accepted for our Toys for Tots giveaway on December 21st until November 22nd. You have to call Casa del Rio to sign up, and it's any resident that is in Riverbank is eligible to sign up. We're also going to have a toy drive and car show on December the 1st, and that will be with our Toys for Tots and the Marines. And again, that is for all of our Riverbank residents, and it's going to be at Save Mart Crossroads from 9 to 2. And I don't know if you're familiar with the big red cart, but we're going to try to fill it up. It's huge. It makes a lot of noise, but we're going to try our best to fill it up on that day. And then also we're going to have breakfast with Santa. That will be on December 21st in the morning. And that we're doing in collaboration with the City of Riverbank, Casa del Rio, and Central Valley Community Resources. It will be at the community center. You do need to sign up through Casa del Rio, and we do need volunteers. So we're asking for anybody that wants to help out with breakfast with Santa If you're available, please contact Central Valley Community Resources at 209-896-3055. And remember to support small businesses on the Saturday after the Black Friday weekend. And last but not least, happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Ho, ho, ho. Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. See, I don't have any of the fun announcements as Darlene did. So let's talk about state law, but just very briefly. So Senate Bill 1215. So it's looking to enhance electronic recycling waste. Kind of historically, the United States, we've been sending like large amounts of waste to countries like Malaysia. Come January, all that's gonna come to a stop. It's gonna, and we do fortunately have a business coming into Riverbank. It's 3R Technology. Their equipment's in route. I had a tour with the incoming council member Cindy Fossey this morning. They're shooting for a ribbon cutting in March. So very excited to see that. And I'll keep you guys posted on that. Other than that, the Sister City Committee will be meeting this Friday at Pizza Plus at 6 o'clock. We're going to be focusing. We're real close to our goal of sending the youth to the Youth Summit in DC in 2025. We have a deadline of March. We're right there. So we're going to have a discussion. Everyone's feel free to come by, join us, have a discussion with us. It is open to the public. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, and that's it.
Thank you. You know, we don't take our responsibilities lightly. We look at the totality of the city. We have capacities that we have to consider. We have a lot of other issues that we have to consider, and the housing element is just one. And we also need a new general plan, which we've been advocating now for some time until we can afford it. And all of that will go together. A lot of the people that have issued comments, either for or against some of the proposals, are the ones that actually built this general plan. And I want everyone to understand, a general plan is the city saying, we want you to come here and develop. This is our RFP. And if we say, we're going to turn our back on it, what are we saying to businesses coming here? I'm sorry, we're not going to entertain it because it doesn't fit us today. But that general plan is an RFP for property owners and for developers. And for all of that to work together, they have to consider all the other necessary, the capacity of roads, capacity of a sewer, capacity for water, everything else that goes along with that. So we take our responsibilities very seriously. We just don't throw ideas out or discard them. We are committed to what we say we are going to do. With that, I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. And to all the other veterans, thank you for your service. For me, it was my honor to serve this great country.
Next meeting, December the 10th.
No, we have a special meeting. She announced it.
I know, next regular city council. Yeah.